Can I just start this morning by saying a few things about the very, very serious wet weather we're seeing in southeast Queensland. The Southeast Queensland Flood Operations Centre has been reactivated this morning as we're starting to see some serious flash flooding in parts of the southeast. There are swift water rescues occurring in both vehicles and involving two houses around the Gympie area this morning. Tragically, I can confirm that a vehicle washed off the road has been located and one person has lost their life in that incident and a second person remains unaccounted for. So there is a search currently occurring in the area just north of Gympie. A vehicle was washed off the road and that vehicle has been located, and tragically one person has already lost their lives. I just say again, if it's flooded, forget it. We have a couple of other swift water rescues involving vehicles occurring this morning, as well as a couple of families being rescued from their homes. This flash flooding has come up very, very quickly. These are not slow rising floods. What we're seeing in the southeast as a result of very, very heavy rain is some flash flooding. I just appeal to people, no matter what inconvenience, do not drive into flooded waters. We have already seen tragically someone lose their life today, and our thoughts go out to the family and friends of the person who's lost their life in that flood this morning. We'll keep you updated through the Department of Emergency Services throughout the day on those rescues. On election matters, can I start by saying the Queensland Government 3 years ago recognised the need to work with those communities that have been heavily impacted by mining. We put aside a $100 million allocation for sustainable resource community infrastructure. That was a $100 million commitment over the last 3 years, and we've delivered that program to those resource communities. And in turn, that $100 million program has delivered for those resource communities. We've seen things like the upgrade of the Roma Airport, we've seen the Dalby Aquatic Centre, the upgrade of the Cloncurry swimming pool, as well as an upgrade of the Chinchilla Community Centre. All of these programs go on top of what we might call the hard economic infrastructure to make those places more livable, to make them better places for people to raise their family and enjoy the opportunities that regional Queensland offers. So the success of Labor's Sustainable Resource Community program has convinced us to expand the program, to take it to all regions of Queensland and to triple it in size. A new Labor government will allocate $300 million to our new regional community program. What this will do is fund, in partnership with councils, we'll work with local councils to identify the best projects, and we'll look to fund those projects that make a difference, whether it's sporting infrastructure, parklands, or projects like this one here in Mackay that has put in place a beautiful riverside parkway and walkway. Over the last few years, working with the Mackay Regional Council, our Labor government has delivered a walking and parkland area along the riverfront of almost 28 kilometres. It's meant things like this new boardwalk here with restaurants, parklands, places where people can come with their families. We all know that roads, schools, hospitals, bridges, they are all important. But the things that make our communities, our towns and our cities livable are those things on top of that, the social infrastructure, the places where we take our children to play, the places where we come and meet with friends. That's what livability means. Whether you look in Cairns, Townsville, here in Mackay and other regional cities, you will see the investment that we've been making. We now build on that investment by making sure that those communities that are generating the royalties, that are generating the economic wealth, are seeing that come back to them in terms of livability. So Labor's Sustainable Regional Communities Fund will triple in size our previous fund, and it will go to more regions. Because we know that some families who are working in mining communities are choosing to live in cities like Mackay. Others are choosing to live in places like Moranbah. And we need to make sure wherever workers and their families choose to live, we're there, hand in hand, delivering community infrastructure for livability. One of the first allocations out of the fund here in Mackay will be a $1 million allocation to a community group known as Young Care. Young Care is a group that started here in Queensland to build houses that will take young people who have serious disabilities, and particularly brain injuries and other serious disabilities, out of aged care places. Young Care is an organisation that has inspired thousands of people across Queensland to help get young people out of aged care if they have a serious disability. We'll put $1 million into a Young Care program here in Mackay. It'll be a first for Mackay, and it will mean a great deal to those families who unfortunately have a seriously disabled young person who's been cared in an inappropriate way in an aged care facility. So I look forward to working with Young Care to bringing that facility here to Mackay. But more than that, I look forward to working with local councils across Queensland, just as we did with our Mining Towns program, to take that idea, triple it in size and take it to more regions. I know that the local councils of Queensland have got lots of ideas. We want to work with them to make them a reality.